Hello there, everybody. So today for our yoga flow session, we're going to be keeping off the hands a little bit and aiming to kind of be a little bit more upright and working nice strong legs and in the hips also as well, kind of really engaging the core, but not quite so much on the wrists today. So some of you will be pleased to know that. So you're going to need your blocks with you and possibly your belt. Don't worry if you don't use your belt. It's occasionally I forget to kind of in all of the postures which I have planned, even though there is kind of like prompts things in front of me. I do tend to miss an odd thing out as well, but just kind of keeping with that momentum. Sometimes if I miss them out, they've not been meant to be in there, but have your belt just in case. So if you do have two blocks, then great, just work with your two. If you have got more, you can place them either side, and then it's going to save you kind of messing around moving your blocks over from side to side. Or even if you want kind of like a chair either side, then you can work to the chair as well, and we're working on those. So if you're ready, I'm just going to move my camera slightly so it won't affect you, just so I can see what I'm doing a little bit more. Okay, so we're still in focus. So if you want to just bring yourselves down to sitting, nice, easy, cross-legged, however you feel most comfortable to sit. Just rock out a little bit so you feel a little bit more comfortable. And just taking the shoulders back. So just creating that nice firm base. And then when you're there, just closing the eyes. Just take a few breaths here just to allow yourself just to settle. So just taking note just of how you feel right now. So if you're going to be doing this video just a couple of times, and depending on the day, the body can feel very different at different times of the day. So whether you have just woken up and you're then approaching this video, and that's great. The body is going to be a little bit slower, maybe kind of initially just to get going, but a morning practice is always really, really good. The body's not quite so bogged down with anything that you've taken on board through the day. And an evening, you're also just fighting a little bit of fatigue, or you've maybe taken on some things in the day and you're just starting to wear those just in the body, not only physically but mentally. So just taking the time now just to allow yourself just to see how you feel, time just to tune in. And then bringing the palms together. So time here now just to set your intention for your practice. So maybe something that's you're working towards, or if you're just clearing headspace, just as long as we look deep and see what it is that's actually brought us to the mat. Just allow that just to carry you through your practice. Once you have that, just bring in the thumbs up just to the space between the eyes. So just to reaffirm your intention, taking the hands up over the crown. So your intention is then out there. And then draw the hands back down towards your heart center. Remember that heart center is to do with love and compassion. So always making sure that you're working from a place of love for yourself in your practice and compassion in your practice. And then releasing the hands down. And softly blink the eyes open. Okay, so just that gentle movement of just tilting the pelvis forwards and back. So just working the small of the back to begin with. Just that tilt forward, tilt back, tilt forward, tilt back. When we start to free it off a little bit, then we can start to bring in the rest of the spine. So making sure that it is the spine which is moving and not your shoulders pulling you forwards and back. So we start to get the whole of the muscles just around the back and the front of the body to work, just easing you forward and easing you back. So let the neck be involved in that as well. So the neck is also with the spine, the cervical spine. So as you bring the chest forward, we're lifting the head and then just easing back again. Okay, and then just coming back to upright. Little roll out in the shoulders. Let them settle back and down. And then bring the shoulders up towards the ears. And softly bringing the shoulders back down. So in your own mind, you can count maybe to 4 as you bring the shoulders up. And seeing how many you can count to on the way down. Then we can increase how many counts on the way up. And again, just working to lengthen out how many counts as you bring the shoulders down. So just working just a couple more, just in your own time. And leaving the shoulders rolled back and down. So if you bring your right hand down to the floor and then palm facing up, keep the hips down, taking the arm up and over the head. Nice long stretch out through the side of the body. And then when we're there, bring it right back up again. So hand going down on the left side, right arm coming up and over. And then we go over. So just working a couple more to each side. So feel that stretch, but not working until we feel that the body becomes rigid in it. So we're not working kind of really past your maximum. And I've lost count, so I better do another one. Even though it was only the count of 2, I kind of messed that up. Okay, and then we're back to the center. So again, just roll your shoulders and leaving them just back and down. Bring the hands straight out in front, interlock the fingers and turning the hands over. Taking the arms up over the head, aim to keep those elbows in close to the side of the head, with palms reaching up towards the ceiling. And then back down. Turning the hands over, changing the interlock, turning the hands back over again, and taking the arms up over the head. And then back down. Turning the hands back over and just releasing the hands down. Now if you bring one arm, taking it right across the body, bring the other arm in and just easing that in. And then release. And work with the side. So just bring it across, bring the arm in and easing in. And release and down. Take the arms across, give yourself a big hug. So reach right round towards the shoulder blades, feel that pulling in. Lift the elbows up, see if that makes any difference. And bring the elbows down, so curl the back. And curling over and still trying to hold on to those shoulder blades as you come down. And then back up again. So we can just change that, be aware of which arm was on top and bringing them back. Again, reaching towards the shoulder blades and lift up, see if that makes any difference. Bring it down and then curling over, so you can feel a stretch along the back and you're working as if you're trying to pull the shoulder blades apart. And then back up again. Okay, so just releasing. And then hands back onto the knees. Just go back into easing forwards and back. And bring the legs straight out in front. Give the legs a little bit of a stretch so we can just point the toes and then back. And point the toes and back. Point the toes and back, like a random little toe going off on there. And back again. Okay, give the legs a little bit of a shake out. So feeling nice and free up into the hips. Now we'll do a little bit on the core work just before we even start. So if you want to just bring yourself over just onto, well, just off your blocks. So I just turn around so you can still see me. You might still be facing on your mat the right way. So if you have your legs in a crook knee position, just hold on to the backs of the legs. Pull back a little bit, but with a straight spine. So we're not curling back, keeping that lift. Lift the chest right up. So stay looking straight ahead, pull back, pull back, pull back, tip the toes on the floor, and then just lift them away from the floor. So you want to feel as if the thighs are pushing into the hands. So push them right into the hands, stretching the toes away. We're squeezing back on the lower part of your belly. So think anything kind of like below the navel, drawing back and almost feeling as if we're kind of like a hole and we're zipping and pulling in. So zipping up. Okay, so draw back a little bit more and see if we can maybe just lift one leg and then back down, and then lifting the other leg and back down. Lift back up, right leg lifting and back down, and left leg lifting and back down. So squeeze in, pull right up. So pull up a little bit more, squeezing in. Keep holding onto the legs, see if we can take those legs up a little bit higher. Pull, lift up, squeeze the belly. Bring it back down again, just a little bit off the floor. We're going to bring the hands away and bring the hands back behind. Okay, so we can have fingertips on the floor, roll the shoulders back. Keep squeezing back, and the toes are not quite on the floor. I'm going to stretch away with the right leg and draw back in. Stretch away with the left. Keep drawing back on that lower part of the belly. Draw the leg in, extend with the right, drawing in, extend with the left, drawing in, extend with the right, drawing in, extend with the left, and drawing in. Extend with the right, and draw in, extend with the left, and draw in. Okay, placing the feet down. So you might want to just kind of take a little cat stretch just on there, just to ease out of the back. We're just going to bring ourselves just to lying down. So come all the way down to the floor. And if we bring the legs in, so knees are up, just up towards the ceiling. Now, if we lift a little bit just on the tailbone, so the knees feel as if they're up that little bit higher. Place the hands behind the head. I'm going to bring the elbows so they're looking up towards the ceiling. So keep the drawing back on the lower part of the belly, and then exhale, lift up, as if we're trying to reach the elbows up towards the ceiling. Then again, extend with the right leg, draw in, extend with the left leg, draw in, extend with the right, draw in, extend with the left, draw in, extend with the right, draw in, extend with the left, draw in, extend with the right, draw in, extend with the left, draw in. And then placing the feet down and slowly start to lower yourself down. Take the legs out a little bit of a distance apart, and then just rock the knees over, just gently from side to side. Okay, come back to the center, bring the knees in. So we're going to just take the legs up. We can start to get a little rocking. Bringing yourselves all the way up to sitting. Okay, once you're there, you can either rock yourself up and come up to standing, or if you prefer, just bring yourself over and bring yourself up. Okay, so we're going to stand at the top edge of the mat still, but we're going to use the mat, so most of it will be this way around. So just standing in, just at the top edge of the mat, and bringing the hands in. So just close the eyes, just take a moment here. Keep drawing back. So if you remember on that lower part of the belly, keep feeling as if we're pulling in and up, zipping it up. And softly open the eyes. So keeping that lock at the lower part of the belly. So the Mula Bandha. So we're drawing in and up the whole time. Okay, dropping the hands down. Inhale, take the arms up over the head. And then exhale, take the arms wide. So we swan dive down. We're only coming down to halfway, bending the knees, bring the hands in front. As my ankle's cracking. And then push all the way up using the legs and stretch those arms up. And then drawing the hands down. Okay, so drop the hands down. Inhale, taking the arms up over the head. Exhale as you go wide. Swan dive down. When we get down to halfway, bend your knees. Bring your hands together. So James Bond mudra. And so the index finger stretching away. Keep the legs bent and push through the legs. Come all the way up. And then drawing the hands back in. Okay, and again, so drop the hands down. Inhale, taking the arms up over the head. Exhale, go wide, and when we get to halfway, then we bend the legs, bring the hands together, James Bond mudra, and stretching the arms up, push down through the legs, come all the way back up, and draw the hands back in. Take a few breaths. Okay, so just softly open the eyes and bring the hands down onto the hips. So you're going to turn to face towards me. So I'm just going to take a big wide stride, bringing my legs out, so about a leg length apart, pressing the hips down. So squeeze in, press down. So anything on the legs, you've got the feet pushing down, we're also pulling up on the legs, hands are firmly pushing down, so we lift up through the front of the body, rolling the shoulders back, and then let the arms float out to the sides. So we're going to take it first of all into Trikonasana. So we're going to go over to your right side. So we're going to turn in on that left leg, turning out with the right. We inhale, we lift, exhale, just easing over to that side. Let the hand come down and that top arm is reaching up, looking up towards that top hand. Just get a feel for the pose, then push back into the left, bring it all the way back up again. Turn the feet back in, refresh your arms. Turning in with the right, turning out with the left. Inhale, lift, exhale, lengthen over to the side, dropping the hand down, and then turn, look up towards that top hand. Get a feel for the pose, press back into the right, inhale, come all the way back up again. Turn the feet back in, refresh the arms. Okay, we're going back over again. This time we'll do it with rock star arms. So turn in with the left foot, turn out with your right. Keep the lift, exhale, lengthen over. So really stretch through the side of the body, bringing that hand down, top arm is up. So rock star arms, go back first, then bring it in front, and we're one up. And then again, and two, and then one more, and we're up, and then push into the left foot, bring it all the way back up again. Turn the feet back in, refresh your arms, and turn in with the right, turn out with the left. Keeping that lift, and then exhale, lengthen over as far over as we can, dropping that hand down, arm coming up, looking up. So again, rock star arms, take it back first, and then it comes up. That's one, and then again, that's two, and again, that's three. Push into your right foot, bring it all the way back up, turning the feet back in. Just refresh your arms, and then bringing the hands onto the hips. So just making sure again that we've not lost that Mula Bandha. Keep pulling in and up. Again, imagine we're really zipping up, tight pair of trousers. Okay, so just roll the shoulders back, press down, just close the eyes for a moment. So just taking the focus into how the body actually feels. Where you're feeling pushing, where you're feeling pulling. So making sure that the feet are grounded. Now in my case, I tend to kind of roll my feet in. So I've got to be careful that I'm not doing that. I have to push to the outer edges in order to kind of work the muscles on the inner thighs. So it's like, almost like lifting up the arches of the feet. Okay, and then softly open the eyes. So we're going to go back over into Trikonasana again. So taking the arms out to the sides, turn in with your left foot, turn out with the right. Really think about length through the body, pushing back into the outer edge of that back foot, drawing in and lifting up, keeping that lift, and exhale, lengthen over, drop the hand down, arm is up, we're looking up towards that top hand. See if we can take that arm now, just take it back a little bit further so you feel as if the chest is opening and turning up towards the ceiling. You can push into the leg with the lower hand. Not asking you to go very far, and it needs to make sure that you feel it in the chest, not just flinging your arm back. If there's no movement at all in the chest, then don't take the arm back, it'll be fine. Arm going straight up, and then push into the left foot, come all the way back up. Turn the feet back in, refresh the arms. So you want to feel that movement happening kind of through the waist and through the chest when you take the arm back, not just in the shoulder socket. Now turning in, turning out, so we're going to go over to that left-hand side. Keeping that lift, exhale, lengthen over, as far over as we can, bringing the hand down, taking the arm up. Notice how it feels, notice whether you're rocking in again to the arch of the foot. We still manage to get that Mula Bandha. And then see if we can just turn the chest tiny bit. And then bringing it back. Press into the right foot, inhale as you come back up again. Turning the feet back in. Okay, just refresh the arms and then jump the legs back in. And bringing the hands down. So just roll the shoulders back, take a few breaths. If you feel okay with it, you can close the eyes. Otherwise, just kind of soften the gaze and take it down towards the floor. Just notice how you feel. Okay, and then softly open the eyes. So we're going to be working through Ardha Chandrasana. So with that, that's where we do our half moon pose. So if you know you need a block or two, or to make it comfortable and easier for yourself, just bring your blocks in, just 1 or 2 blocks either side. Now, even if you don't really need the blocks, I would just bring them in. Just bring them in. So not necessarily working kind of on the balance, but just working on the opening. So take the legs out again. Little bit wider this time, and then let the arms float out to the sides. So again, back through Trikonasana. So turning in with the left, turning out with the right. Keeping that lift, then exhale as we lengthen over to the side. Dropping the hand down, the arm is up. Now see if we can just turn a little bit, get the arm to come back a little bit further, and then bring it back in, so it's straight up towards the ceiling. Turn, look down towards your big toe. Bend the knee. Place your hand onto the block, about 1 foot or so in front of your little toe. Transfer the weight, either bunny hop or just step it through. Now once you're there, again you're aiming to turn the chest. So pushing back into both legs, so 1 foot on the floor, really working to draw up to the hip. That back leg, stretch it back. Try and stack up the hips, one directly on top of the other. Feel as if you're turning the chest up towards the ceiling. Maybe just turn and bring the arm back. Oh, sorry if you can hear that noise, it's my stomach rumbling. Okay, so then we bring it back down again. So just starting to bend that right leg, place the foot back down again, straighten the leg so we come back through Trikonasana and all the way back up. Turning the feet back in and ready for the other side. Just check your feet are in the right place. Just maybe refresh the arms. So we're going to turn in with your right foot, turning out with the left leg, keeping that good strong lift. Exhale, lengthen over, as far over as we can. Dropping that hand down. So we turn, look up towards that top hand. So turning that little bit more through the chest. See if we can maybe just get the arm to go back a little bit more. And then bring it back in. Okay, look down towards the floor. Bend the knee. Keep this arm really stretching up. Take the hand so it's about 1 foot in front of your little toe. Transfer the weight or bunny hop it in. Okay, once we're there with it, nice and strong on that standing leg, pushing out through the back leg. One hip stacked up directly on top of the other one. And we're starting to turn the chest that little bit more. We're reaching up towards the ceiling with that top hand. Lower hand is acting as if it's glued to the floor, but it's pulling up to clearing the shoulder to enable you to turn that little bit more. So keep holding there, making sure that we're drawing back, Mula Bandha. Good, and then we can look back down again. We start to bend that left leg. Nice big stride back through Trikonasana, and then coming all the way back up again. Turning the feet back in. Okay, jump the feet back together. And releasing the hands down. Just rolling the shoulders back. Take a few breaths. If you can, and again, eyes closed, or just taking the gaze down towards the floor. So just time just to reset. Okay, and then blinking the eyes open. Again, take the legs out, a nice wide stride. So we're going into Virabhadrasana 2. So again, set the legs, toes are facing forward to begin with, pressing the feet down, really work the outer edges of the feet, and you're pushing away. So we're also pulling up, but pushing away, so you're clearing on the arches of the feet. Fingers into the hips, press down, lift up in the chest, roll the shoulders back, and then just soften it out a little bit. Take the arms out to the side. Turn in with your left foot, turn out with that right leg. Keep the hips and chest facing towards me. Exhale, slowly start to bend the knee. When you're bending that knee, you're aiming for that right angle between the underneath of the thigh and the calf muscle. Making sure that we're not lifting in the hip, drop it down that little bit more. Arms stretching out, nice and strong in the back leg. Turn the head. Now also in here, again, Mula Bandha, really pull up. It'll tend to drop forward, your bum will stick out. So think of tucking your bum right in so we get that lift going through the front of the body. And turn, just look, take a few deep breaths. And then inhale, as you press into that left foot, come all the way back up. Turn the feet back in, refresh the arms. So arms going out to the side again, helium balloons underneath the arms. Turning in, turning out. So again, make sure the whole of that leg is turned out. This is my tighter hip on this side, but really work to kind of bring that side out. And then exhale as we bend the leg. Again, keep it charging back into this back leg. Let that do all the work. Okay, so we'll form that right angle between the underneath of the thigh and the shin. So we're pushing right back, outer edge of that right foot. We turn, just look towards or beyond the middle finger of that left hand. Keep the Mula Bandha on, so tailbone tucking under. Think of those bum cheeks kind of moving in a little bit, so it creates a little bit more space so we can lift the chest a bit more. And then we inhale, come all the way back up. Turn the feet back in. Refresh your arms. Bring the hands onto the hips. Okay, so we're just going to go back into that one again. So if we, again, just make sure that your legs are set well. Pushing to the outer edges. Let the arms float out to the sides. Turn in with your left foot, turn out with your right leg. Keeping that lift, then exhale, bend the knee. So a good strong lift all the way through. We're going to take a little twist with it. So as the arms are now, you're going to turn the body, turning so we're facing then just over towards that bent leg. Keep that back leg pressing down. Now you can see on me, I'm slightly tipping forward. So I've got to really remember to lift, tuck my bum in more and lift up a little bit more. So really charging out through that back leg. You don't want to be collapsing in the knee like I just was then. So really kind of keep going through all these points in your own head. So we're pressing down that back foot. Really work to the outer edge so we can then lift up that inner groin of that back leg. Good, and then we're turning back round again. So we open up in the hips. And then push into the left, come all the way back up. Turn back in, okay, and refresh the arms. So again, onto the other side. So we're going to turn in, turn out. So we exhale, we go down. We're not thinking of moving your head just yet. We're still sideways on. So we get a good deep bend in that leg. We're really charging up, pushing into that back foot. Nice and level with the body. Everything's set in place. And then we can slowly then start to turn. So one hand coming around one arm. So we've got both arms then out to the side. So pressing in. Really charge it through that back leg. Push down. Mula bandha. Keep lifting up, lifting up. Keep your bum tucked in, keeping that lift. Little smile on your face. So arms, I know how they'll feel. Okay, so keep the smile on the face. And then we're just going to bring it back round again. So we open up Virabhadrasana 2 and then come in all the way up. Turn the feet back in. Okay, refresh your arms and then let the hands come down. So just roll your shoulders back a few times. Okay, I'm going to take the arms out to the side and jump the feet back in with the hands coming back in. Okay, so hands just down by your sides, get the shoulders to roll back. And like we did right in the very beginning when we're working with the breath and lifting the shoulders. So we're going to work with that. So we're going to inhale as we lift the shoulders, count up to however many it takes you to get the shoulders right up. And then exhale, think of lengthening the breath. And that little soft count in the head as you bring the shoulders down. So again, we inhale as we bring the shoulders up. So it might be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then going back down, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, if you can do more, then just do more. And if you need to, if you don't feel as if they're down enough, then again, just go for it again and just keep pulling back and down. You're better to work slowly rather than kind of just the shuddy ones kind of going up and down. Just work nice and slowly and softly, moving with the body. Okay. So from here, we'll be using the blocks for the next one because we'll be taking that into Parsvakonasana. So make sure that your blocks are just going to be behind your knee. So we want to bring the blocks in maybe just a little bit closer. I think my legs, where my blocks are now, it's as if my legs are going to be that of a person about 6'5". Okay, so stride the legs out. Good wide stride. Right in front of your blocks. Okay, hands push down again into the hips. Again, we don't want to be collapsing in, so really feel that pushing out. Taking your arms out to the sides. And then we can turn in and we're turning out with the right leg. Keep your hips and your chest facing towards me. Exhale now as we bend the legs. Remember, no rush on it. Keep charging back into the left leg as you bend the knee. That's it. So we have it there. Then from here, we're going to stretch over. So we inhale again, lifting up, exhale, lengthen over as far over as we can. And then bringing the hand down onto the blocks. So if you need to, you can just alter them round. You can have it a little bit higher up if you feel that that's better. Maybe there today, work on your form. So we're thinking of drawing this bit back. We still have the Mula Bandha engaged, but we're drawing back and drawing back and drawing back. Now I'm going to take the arm just up towards the ceiling. Okay, from here, then let the arm just move back a little bit. So again, think of the chest lifting and moving around rather than just in the shoulder socket. So we turn, we turn, we turn, we turn, we turn. We bring it back up and then let the arm come over the head, diagonal line. Keep charging back into that back leg. Keep drawing up through the Mula Bandha. Keep aiming to turn the body a little bit more. Look upon the inside of the arm. If you can go low with the arm, go lower, as long as we're not letting the chest dip down. Okay, and then when we come back up, the arm all the way up to the top, and then push into your left foot all the way back up, and bring that leg back in. Turning in. Okay, refresh the arms. So we're turning in with the right foot, turning out with the left leg, keeping that lift, and then exhale, bend the knee. Okay, so once we're there with it, and keeping that good lift, then we inhale, lift again, exhale as we lengthen over. Again, remember, we're drawing in and up, we're charging into that back foot. Lengthen over, lengthen over, lengthen over. Let the hand come down. It comes down to the floor easy enough. You can have it to the floor as long as we're not compromising that chest. If you're working a little bit more really on form, which ideally we are, bring your blocks up a little bit higher. Turn the chest, bring the arm up towards the ceiling. Now there's a tendency to just rest down on the arm, so bring it back up. So there shouldn't really be any weight onto there. It is just there as kind of a focus point, a reference point to work from. So on that right leg, really charge it back, turn the chest, turn the chest, turn the chest. See if we can maybe start to take the arm back a little bit more. Keep turning, and then bring it back up. And then we can take that arm over the head. I maybe didn't mention, so when our arm is straight up, we need to turn it a little bit just to go over. Okay, so a nice diagonal line. Again, no pressure on that lower hand. Let the legs do the work. So from that nice long stretch, we're going to bring it back up. We come all the way up, pushing back into the back leg. And then straightening up. Turning in. And just, that's it. Refresh the arms, bring the hands onto the hips, pressing down. Nice, deep breaths. Okay, so we're going to turn and we'll go from Virabhadrasana 2 and we'll be turning again, going back into Virabhadrasana 1. Back heel will stay down and this time we'll take the arms up. So we need to have that little bit more flexibility really with the ankles and with the hips. If the back starts to come into it, if you start to really feel that it's too much in the back, then lift the heel a little bit, okay, once we've turned. So let those arms come out to the side. Turn in, really good turn in with your left leg. Turn out with the right. Okay, keep drawing the hips back a little bit. So at the moment you're still facing towards me. Exhale, bending the knee. Good deep bend. Good. Now we start to turn. So again, just spinning round. Now as you spin round, this hip, the hip of the back leg, needs to kind of bump forward a little bit, but still pushing right back into the heel. So we'll bend that front knee a little bit more. Again, if it's catching in your back, then you can just raise the back heel a little bit. Okay, so again, remember, Mula Bandha, zipping in, pulling up. Then take the arms up over the head. So good, strong lift. Look up towards the ceiling. Take a few breaths. Arms go back out to the sides. You can spin it back round, open up in the hips, and then come all the way back up. Turn the feet back in, just refresh the arms, and bring the hands back again onto the hips. So well done on that one. It's a really strong one to kind of keep that back heel pressing down. So it all really kind of builds on that integrity of really keeping that back leg nice and strong. So remember, foundations, what you've left behind is your strength. So really make it good and strong. Okay, so ready for the other side. So arms out to the sides. So turn in, really good turn in with that foot. You can push the heel out a little bit. Watch the hip because we're going to go first through Virabhadrasana 2. So turning out with the leg and then exhale. Bending the knee. So keep the shoulders stacked up directly on top of the hips, keeping that back leg charged up, pushing back as much as you can. So from here, once we feel settled here, we're not rushing forward, we've settled into the pose, we're keeping that lift with it, then we start to turn. So we're spinning round. Remember, this hip needs to feel as if it's moving forward. So it comes round, comes round, comes round, pushing round, arms are out to the side. Again, scoop in, pull up, charge that back leg. Keep that heel pushing down if we can. So if you're not so flexible in the ankles, you may need to lift your heel up a little bit, and especially if it's catching in the back. Keep pulling up, bum tucking in. Okay, so arms are out to the sides, then see if we can just start to take the arms up over the head, So looking up, maybe bend that front knee a little bit more. Good. Arms back out to the sides again. Spin it back round. So we open back up through Virabhadrasana 2. And then come all the way back up. Turning those feet back in. Okay. Heel toe the feet in just a little bit. Then we're going to jump the feet back together. So again, really feel like you're pulling in, you're sucking up, and you'll jump up that little bit higher, landing that little bit lighter. Okay, and then roll the shoulders back. Take a few breaths. You need to just closing the eyes. Again, think of zip and hollowing up, squeezing into the Mula Bandha, drawing everything up. So bandha means a lock. So we're not wanting to, it is like a lock at the lower part here. It stops the energy from moving down. When the energy moves down, we've done this before in kind of postures where we've had to get low to the floor, but we feel as if we're lifting up first. So it helps to keep that energy lifted. If it starts to sink down, that's when we feel heavy in the pose and the pose becomes sluggish. So we keep drawing in and up to keep a lightness to the body. Feet are light on the floor, even though they're rooted down. Okay, so we'll pull up, roll back. Okay, so now if we take the legs out a little bit wider again. So more again for Trikonasana. Now, if you've got 2 blocks either side, I should have mentioned this first. So you can place one there and one there. And one there and one there. So if you have books, you could maybe use those if you've not got enough blocks. You may not even need the blocks at all, but if there is something there that you can just place your hand onto, then you may find it helps. So roll the shoulders back, pressing the hands down, taking the arms out to the side. So we're going to go first of all through Trikonasana, Ardha Chandrasana, Pravrita Ardha Chandrasana. Okay, so shoulders are rolling back and down, turning in with your left foot, turn out with your right leg. Keep the hips and chest facing towards me. Inhale, lift, exhale, lengthen over, as far over as we can. Dropping that hand down and the arm reaches up. Again, remember to turn the chest a little bit more up towards the ceiling. You can always maybe take the arm back a little bit and then bring it back in. Look down towards the floor, bend the knee. So we're going to place the thumb, foot in front of the little toe. Then we can start just to transfer that weight. We come up. So we're up into Ardha Chandrasana. Strong in the legs, pushing out, reaching the arm up, turning the chest. Okay, so from here, we're going to bring this top arm down. Keep lifting up on that standing leg, otherwise you're going to feel that in your hip. Okay, so we keep that lift, and as we lift, we're turning the hips to face down towards the floor. Keep that back leg pushing out as much as you can, with the toes facing down. Weight now pushes into the opposite hand. So we're going to start to then bring the arm up, taking it up as far up as we can. It's a strong pose, and especially to do and to talk at the same time. I'm aiming to turn my chest, turn my chest, turn my chest. Oh, reaching up, doing the best we can. Good, and then we bring it back down. So we come back down. We're going to lift back up. So again, remember, standing leg. Really pull up. Lift the hip up away from it. So we can go back into Ardha Chandrasana. Then we start to bend the leg. We're placing that foot down. So we come back through Trikonasana. And then come all the way back up. Turning the feet back in. Okay, how did we do? We all right? Just refresh the arms. And bring the hands down onto the hips. So take a little breath. And just remember, what's the worst that can happen on that? The worst thing that can happen is you can fall out of it. And if you fall out of it, just get back into it. Okay. If you're near a wall, you can always use the support as well of a wall. So that will help. So then you can focus not only just kind of taking the balance aspect away from it to work on your form, and then you can always come away from the wall. Okay, the balance is nice. Throw the balance in as a nice bit of a challenge. Okay, so roll the shoulders back, and then we're ready for the other side. So just taking your feet out as wide as they should be for this pose. So ideally your leg length, and then taking the arms out to the side. So we're going to turn in, right foot, turning out left leg. So through Trikonasana first, keep that lift. Exhale, lengthen over to the side. Drop the hand down. So taking the arm up. So we're in a good Trikonasana. We can maybe turn the chest a little bit more just to open up. And then bring it back in. Turn, look down towards the floor. So remember, Mula Bandha, bend the knee, place the hand onto the block, foot in front of your little toe. Transfer the weight. Oh, a bit more of a drag up on that side. Okay, so once we're up, then again, that standing leg has really got to work. It's got to pull up, and then we're lifting up, one hip stacked up on top of the other one. Chest is nice and open, facing towards me. Top arm is reaching up. So we're tucking in on that lower shoulder blade. Keep the belly drawing in and up. Okay, so changing this now into Parivrtta Trikonasana. So, no, we're not. We're changing it into Parivrtta Ardha. So we're going to look down towards the floor, lift up away from that lower hip, then start to bring it down. So the hips are facing down towards the floor. I've changed hands, so my other hand is going to push down, and then I can start to lift up with the other hand, so the hand that was originally on the floor. So we keep on the back leg, toes pointing down, nice and strong in that leg, turning the chest, turning the chest, turning the chest, a little bit more. Ooh. And then slowly start to bring it back down. Now once we come back down, we're going back again through Ardha Chandrasana. So pull up on the standing leg, roll that top hip back, take the arm back up again. So again, remember, open up with the chest as well. So chest is facing forward. And then we can start to bend the leg. Place that back foot down, back through Trikonasana, and then all the way back up. Turn the feet back in. Woo, refresh the arms. And bring your hands onto your hips just for a moment. Press down, roll the shoulders, take the arms back out, jump the feet together. Remember, Mula Bandha as you jump. And the hands come down. Just roll the shoulders back, draw the arms down. So shoulder blades slipping down your back. Close the eyes if that feels comfortable. Or just take the gaze down towards the floor. Just a soft gaze. Okay, and then opening the eyes. So we're going to work now with Virabhadrasana 1, going to Parsvakonasana, and then we'll be working on the bind as well. So taking the hand back. So we've worked quite a bit kind of in this midsection here, kind of turning and twisting in there. So we'll work into there. So you can grab hold of blocks if you want, so they can come in front of the foot. So you can press the hand down first into a block if you want. So if you want to just watch for a moment, I'll show you. So if you know you're not going to be able to reach the hand down, so once we get here, you can have the hand down onto the floor. When the hands are onto there, you can then turn the chest a little bit more. So when you've turned a bit more, it'll take this arm back and it'll work it round. If you can see, you can maybe grab hold of the top of the thigh. So when that hand does come underneath, then you'll be able to grab. Okay, so you can have your blocks there if you want them there, and that might be a good option actually for everybody. You can push into there first. So if you want to grab those, placing them forward. Right, so legs are going out. so feet are facing forward. So press down. I'll move those for now so you can just see where we're going. Okay, so pressing down. Arms out to the sides. So we're going to turn in with your left foot, big turn in. Turn out with the whole of the right leg. Keep your hips and your chest facing towards me. So if anything, even think of it pulling back round. Okay, from there, exhale into Virabhadrasana 2. So a nice strong, deep bend of that leg. The deeper we can get that bend, the closer you'll be as well to getting the arm underneath to getting it back. Charge through this back leg. So really push out into that back leg. Sinking down with this hip. Bum tucking under. Keeping the Mula Bandha lifted and sucked in. Okay, so now we're going to extend over into Parsvakonasana. So we reach over, we reach over, we reach over. Hand is coming down on the inside. So remember, you can push down if you want into your blocks. And when you push and you turn the chest a little bit more, then you maybe find you can move your blocks out of the way. Bring the hand down to the floor. Now, for some, it may help if the chest is forward slightly to get yourself that little bit lower. Bring the hand behind. Now, when the hand goes back behind, this top arm is reaching back. When it's back, then we pull back with the chest. We turn, we look up. Good. And then releasing there. And then to come back up, we push back up, Virabhadrasana 2, and then all the way back up. Turning your feet back in. Okay, refresh your arms. Bring the hands down onto the hips. Take a moment. So how did we do on that one? Okay, it's a strong one. There's a lot to think about. Just let the legs be your foundation. Let them be the stability in the pose. So then we just need to have this movement here, movement through the torso, through the waist, through a little bit of movement through the shoulders in order to kind of just complete the rest of that pose. Even if you're at any stage of that with the hand just on the blocks and just working a little bit more of a twist, then that's perfectly fine, okay? Better to be right in the pose rather than kind of haphazardly doing it. So think about the stages of where you're at. So let's really get it sorted now for the other side. So I'm just going to forget about those blocks for a moment. If you need the other blocks, place them in front. Okay, so we're going to, taking the arms out to the sides. So turn in with the right, turn out with the left. Keeping that lift and then exhale as we bend the knee. Remember, no rushing into it. Keep your shoulders lined up over your hips as you bend that leg. Nice and strong, charging back into that back leg, drawing back as much as I can. So keep the front of this leg facing towards me. Then from there, we start to lengthen over as we exhale, still turning a little bit in the chest. We can bring the hand down. So remember, you're either pushing down to the blocks. If you are able to get to the floor, push away from it, turn the chest a little bit more. So then we can start to bring that top arm back. It can reach back. As it reaches back, we bring this hand down. Remember, some of you may want to bring the chest forward a little bit first. That works. It works perfectly on with people's anatomy. Not everyone is the same. You may need to come down to reach through and then work it from there. So if we are able to catch, then we turn, we bring ourselves back up again. Chest looking up towards the ceiling. We're there in the pose, nice and strong in the legs. Keep squeezing back on the Mula Bandha. Good. And then release. And come back up. Virabhadrasana 2. And then all the way back up. Turn the feet back in. Okay. Heel to the feet in just a little bit. And then again, think of that pulling up, that lift. Jump the legs back together. And the hands come down. Just rolling the shoulders back. Okay. So we're just going to bring it back down now. So we're bringing it down onto the floor and we'll be working a nice simple twist And you just need really 1 or 2 blocks for that. So I'm going to sit sideways on, obviously you just still face sitting towards me. So sat just on the front edge of your block. If you are on a block, you might want to take another block behind you as well for when we take the hands back onto it. So stretching the legs away. Make sure that you haven't got any part of your legs that are onto the block. So it's just really the bum cheeks that are on there. So pushing away, keeping that lift. Roll the shoulders back and down. Okay, now we're going to start just to take the left leg and take it over a little bit towards the outer edge. So just onto the edge of your mat. So if you're sat in the middle, take that leg over just a little bit more. So it's right along the edge. Now with your right leg, we're going to bring that leg up. So we have a bigger gap. We've got one leg going out to the side. If I turn that way, so it would be more like that. Okay? So one leg at the side, one leg is in. So this is going to give us freedom just to twist that little bit more. So we're going to inhale and lift. We're holding onto that leg. Then we're going to keep hold with the left hand. I'm going to just move back slightly. Inhale, taking my right arm up. Now start to spin round, palm facing towards you, and then bring it back behind. Press the hands down, either into the floor or into the block. Sometimes I prefer, rather than being on the floor and being upright, even if you are on a block but have the arm bent, it tends to give me a little bit more leverage. You can just bend back a little bit, so coming back onto the arm, and it'll help to bring whatever is in that midsection round a little bit more. But remember, we do need to straighten it back up. So then once you're there, you pull yourself back up again. Then we're going to inhale as we take the left arm up, and exhale, bringing it down over that leg. Now, keeping that leg just facing, it's not moved in, it's not moved out. So it keeps there as the arm is stretched over. Backhand, the more freedom you have in your chest, the more you can maybe take that backhand out and turning the thumb out. So we're just going to turn, look back, make sure that that twist is happening through your waist, through your rib cage, through the chest, through the shoulder. Watch you're not sitting into your shoulder. Head just gently turning. And please don't make it about the neck. You can just kind of just gently looking back. Hand is in that stop position. And enjoy that twist. Okay, so after your next exhalation, keeping that lift and slowly start to bring it back round. So when we come back round, again, holding onto the leg, pull yourself up nice and tall. And then straighten that leg out. Okay, bring the other leg in. Okay, I'm going to stay sitting this way. So I know when I turn you will see the back of me, but at least you get to see it from a different angle. Okay, so I'm going to take my right leg out to the side. I'm going to take my left leg now and bring that straight up. So lifting up. Okay, I'm holding on with both hands. I'm sat nice and tall, lifting. Then I'm going to start to take my left hand and bring the arm right up. And I'm starting now to turn that hand, so I open up and bringing that hand back behind me. I can start to lean back a little bit, but if you notice I'm not doing this, I'm just leaning back, bending the elbow. It gives me a little bit of space just to enable that twist to happen a little bit more. Then I can prop myself back up a little bit again. Inhale, take my right arm up and bring it down over that leg. So hand is in that stop traffic position. I've just got a bit of a twist, that's it. So lifting up. And then I can turn, just look back. So again, making sure that the twist is happening through my waist, through my rib cage, through my chest. Okay, and then inhale, lift, exhale as I bring it all the way back round. And bring the leg down and bring the other leg in, lifting. Okay, and then it's time for Shavasana. So, and yeah, we didn't use the belt, did we? So, again, missed the pose out with the belt, but it obviously wasn't needed if it wasn't in there. Okay, so for your Shavasana, so take a pose lying down which you feel best suits you. So either with the bottom near the wall and the legs resting up the wall. We've worked the legs quite a lot, so lifting the legs will be quite beneficial to them. So even if you want to have a chair and just have the legs lifted onto a chair, then that's fine. So just try and get them up a little bit off the ground. If that's not suiting you right now, then obviously you're going to have to just lie yourselves down, just completely flat. So once you have adopted that position, then if you take your arms out just a little bit wider than the body, so just having that little bit of space just underneath the arms, palms are facing up, the inner arms are facing up. Now, as an alternative, you can always keep the shoulders back and where your biceps are, keep them facing up, but then just turning in, just kind of think from the elbow, just rolling in and rest the hands onto the belly. So just take a few moments just to wriggle out, just so you feel that little bit better, a little bit more settled. Sometimes when we lie back, especially with stiffness across the shoulders, you often need then just to wriggle around a little bit, just so you feel a little bit more settled. And when you are settled, just close your eyes. And just tune in just into your body. And just noticing just how it feels. Notice whether you feel as if you're just really surface relaxing. So what I mean by that is that, yeah, you may be just lying there or on the floor, legs up the wall, but you really feel as if you have that connection with whatever it is you're relaxing onto. So fully commit yourself to just a few minutes of Shavasana. As you exhale, just trust in the process of being able to release and to let go. So just allowing the eyes just to sink back in the sockets, widening across the brow, space in the mouth. You may now feel the body hardly moving. Just a soft, gentle rise and fall just of the belly and the solar plexus area. Now I'm just going to count you down with the breath. I'm going to count you down from 10. Inhale, exhale, 10. Inhale, exhale, 9. Inhale, exhale, 8. Inhale, exhale, 7. Inhale, 6. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So just allowing the body just to rest in complete calm and equanimity. So just slowly now, just start to bring yourself back, being aware of your surroundings. Opening your ears to the sounds. Swallow a couple of times, just bring back your sense of taste. Maybe run your fingers and your thumbs just over your clothes or the mat. Just bringing back your sense of awareness of touch. Notice how you feel. And softly open the eyes. Over the next few breaths, just take a good stretch. Stretching out in whatever way you feel you need to stretch. No rush. Just take it nice and easy. Enjoy every part of that feeling as you stretch. So not missing any bit out. You can maybe take the arms up, accompany it with a yawn. Or a sigh. And once you've taken a good stretch, then just bring yourselves back up to sitting. Bring your palms back together. Bring your thumbs in towards the heart center. Again, that center for love and compassion. Bring your awareness back to your intention, which you set at the beginning. And then bringing back the awareness of the energy you created, and the effort that you put into your practice. It's even effort of easing back. But the effort and the energy created, and then just bring to mind someone you feel could do with a little bit of help right now, and dedicate that part of your practice to them. And to close the session, taking the hands up over the crown. And slowly start to draw the hands down, the Ajna chakra, the third eye. The center for knowledge, and intuition, and wisdom. The Vishuddha center for speaking our truth and listening well. The Anahata center for love and compassion. Manipura, which gives us our will and our drive, our determination. Svadhisthana, new beginnings, new creations, ability to change. And the Muladhara, our strength and our stability, creating those good, firm foundations. Just bringing the hands back to that Anahata chakra. Here, as you bring your thumbs to the sternum and to that heart center, just always remembering to hold a place for yourself, this heart center. And softly open the eyes. Namaste. Okay. Thank you, everybody, who joining me for this session. Good, strong, firm foundations. It's been kind of a roller coaster of emotions for a lot of people over the last 8 weeks. When we've worked before in the classes and we were working through our chakras, we'd done the Muladhara, we'd done the Svadhisthana chakra, so it was our firm foundations, our ability to change, and we were at the center for determination and strength and our power. But over the last 8 weeks, a lot of that has been kind of churned up and it's kind of the rocky surface again. So, and a lot of people just now are starting to lose the novelty of maybe the lockdown, because it was a bit of a novelty for some to begin with. And now we're kind of like, So we need to, again, just establish your footing. Make sure that you feel that you have your place, your feet firmly fixed on the ground. So we need to kind of establish those firm footings and strong foundations in order for us to accept any change which is going on. So although the sequence which we've just done may have seemed a little bit tame to some, just keep bringing it back to that. Keep bringing it back to the basics. Even if you're well advanced in your practice, it's always really good to kind of keep coming, just reaffirming, having your feet firmly fixed on the ground. Okay, thank you and enjoy it. Thank you very much and stay safe, everybody, and I shall see you whenever I see you.